These guys survived the David Kahn era of Timberwolves basketball and live to tell about it. It's Flagrant Howls.
Well, first things first, sports dad Judd Zulgad. Let's get the business out of the way here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, take care of that. It's not even done and you're waving it.
Turn this the right way here.
Because it's done.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Such a dominant, historic performance by this franchise that it almost felt anticlimactic. Like the 32-point lead, and you're just hoping to stay awake long enough to get the bench players in. But I don't want to be hyperbolic here, as we literally, like, we're live Flagrant Howls here on the Score North YouTube channel with 2 minutes left. It's a Cigars a game officially, right?
Zeke Naji.
There he is.
First
Zeke
playoff
Naji's
experience for the Nuggets. Doogie's guy Zeke is in the game.
Dude, I mean, I tweeted at halftime. I don't even know what to say. Like, this is one of the most, just like mind-blowingly incredible performances by a Minnesota sports team in my entire life. And I'm sure it is for you. You're a generation older than I am. But, like, what did we just see tonight? Oh, my God, dude.
This is where Sports Dad comes in at least a little bit handy, because I was trying to think back to circumstances like this, where it's a very good team, but certainly not a favorite, right? Because like 2009, the Dallas game was fun.
Talking about
the Vikings were the better team.
Vikings here? Okay, yeah.
You know, so I'm talking about, the Vikings. The closest I can come for pure dominance of a defending champion and or dynasty at the time was 87 divisional round Vikings San Francisco at Candlestick, when the Vikings went in there and kicked the 49ers ass, and everyone was like, oh my God, that's the closest I can come to this. And I realize that's a divisional round, one game. This is a series. But what the Wolves are doing, which, is shocking because of like tonight's dominance, but what the Wolves are doing also, to me, is so fun to watch, because they're literally taking good teams and taking the life out of them. They're kill shots.
Who tweeted it? Was it KG? KG might have had this tweet.
The defense?
The Timberwolves are, I think it was KG.
It was KG.
The Timberwolves are doing with defense what the Warriors did with offense, which is like, it's like must see defense that smothers one of the great teams in the NBA here, the Nuggets. Like, and for some basketball comparisons, I think my favorite one was a couple people comparing the 2011 Mavericks run, where the Lakers were coming, I think the Lakers were coming off maybe back-to-back titles, and Kobe was still at his peak, and they had brought Dwight Howard in, and they were either looking for a three-peat, or they were looking to like win their third championship in 4 years. I'd have to go back and look, but no one really gave the Mavericks a whole lot of credit going in, because it's the Lakers and they're the best team in the NBA. And the Mavericks just made a joke out of the Lakers on their way to winning the NBA championship. And that's kind of what the Wolves are doing to the Nuggets now, where, okay, the Wolves are young, they're feisty, and they are a really good defensive team, but it is the Nuggets, and so they're probably going to put up a good fight because it's the Nuggets. Look at the name on their jersey, and it's Jokic. But we're 2 games into this thing, and obviously the Nuggets are going to get almost a full week now. The next game is on Friday to go back to the whiteboard. But like, this looks like 2 different classes of boxers here. It feels a little bit like that Suns series did early, where you're like, oh, the Suns aren't as deep. The Suns don't have a counterpunch. The Suns don't like this physicality. The Suns are uncomfortable. Everything is hard for 48 minutes in all of these games, and they'd rather just not deal with it. That's what it looked like. It looks like the Nuggets, we were texting you and me during this game, like, it looks like the Nuggets want nothing to do with what the Wolves are bringing to this series right now.
Yeah, I think that what this is they're going against a Denver team that's the defending champs, and in their defense, that's a long run. Like, that takes a lot out. I mean, that's why it's so hard, especially in sports now, to repeat. But the Wolves are hungry, and they might not have the experience of Denver, but they've got them in the corner right now, and they are just hitting them with kill shot after kill shot after kill shot. And Denver's like the old guy who's like, can't take this. No thanks. And I see comments about, Jamal Murray looks cooked. And he does. But here's the thing. Kevin Durant, Jamal Murray, Jokic didn't decide before the Wolves series that they don't like basketball. This is the Timberwolves doing. So like they deserve full credit. This is not teams going belly up because, oh man, we just didn't feel like playing now. Like this is what the Wolves are doing to them. They are taking, and what I love about this is very little of what I just said has to do with offensive production. Very little. What's being taken away is if you want to get to the rim against us, we are going to make your life a living hell. And furthermore, if the officials let anything go, which I felt tonight, and I think it's far more
they were calling nothing
to let them right, but that's such an advantage.
Yeah.
That's such an advantage. People were complaining about Mike Malone, give him a T, and he deserved one. I'm not saying he didn't, but just don't. No, if you don't want to call a damn thing, don't. But I mean, the Timberwolves take away your want to play. I mean, Jamal Murray looks like if you said, okay, Jamal, you don't have to travel. You can just go home, a golf course, start your offseason now. He looks like he would take you up on that offer. Like he looks miserable. So did Booker.
Yeah. Kendrick Perkins had the tweet because Jamal Murray threw a freaking heating pack on the court in the middle of that.
I think he's going to get in big trouble for that. I think
is he going to get suspended?
He might. So here's my thing. The official saw that and looked, and I don't think in real time he could tell. And I guess you can't go back and look at that because they didn't, right? So yes, I think that there's a fighting chance he gets suspended. I think there's a huge chance he gets fined a ton. I think the official saw it and was like, how did that get here?
Yeah.
And when they now look at this in the league office, yes, I think that there's a very good chance he gets fined a lot and possibly gets suspended for a game because it's stupid and dangerous.
A bunch of people are emailing. So we have the Ventline email address, and this wasn't initially going to be a Ventline, but hell, we're celebrating here. That is the best win in Timberwolves history, considering circumstance, opponent on the road, second round of playoffs, Rudy Gobert out.
We didn't even mention Gobert.
Rudy Gobert, the best defensive player in the league, did not play in this game, and it was one of the great defensive performances any team has put up in years.
No question.
It feels a lot like the 2004 Pistons in some ways, too, where like everything is predicated on suffocating defense. They've got these lanky, athletic players, Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, that are they're very switchable, and they're just getting hands in passing lanes and blocking shots. But the difference between the 2004 Pistons, which is probably the best defensive team of like the last 25 years in the NBA, and this year's Timberwolves, also the best defensive team in the NBA, is that this team has Anthony Edwards to get to that next level offensively.
Yes.
This team is actually percentage-wise one of the best three-point shooting teams in the NBA. I forgot to throw the email address up. VikingsVentline@gmail.com. VikingsVentline@gmail.com. That's our Ventline email address. We'll get to Colin. We'll get to Marcus. I'll send the invite out to a few other people. But
awesome.
But that 04 Pistons team, these teams that aren't like the marquee teams that are on TNT the Wolves were on national TV like a handful of times, and so people are just discovering this for the first time. And yes, you're getting the best version of their defense in all of these playoff games, but nothing they're doing is new. Nothing they're doing is like unrepeatable. It's energy, it's rotations, it's it's communication, it's athletic ability. And they're just like, in the regular season, you're going to have games and moments and quarters where like you're not going to be totally dialed in, but it's the playoffs now. And so you're seeing like the fully dialed in version of this defense. And some people are shocked by it. I mean, we've been watching this team all year and they're not. But my point on this is teams like this, teams like the 04 Pistons, the 2011 Mavericks that aren't the marquee team going into the playoffs, it takes a while for the rest of the world to watch and play catch up and say, oh my God, watch the Pistons play defense. There's a chance they could win the champ. Well, but it's going to be tough to beat the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. It's like, no, they play crazy defense. So
and the TNT
we're on
guys,
championship watch, man.
The TNT guys had no clue.
No, Charles Barkley.
They literally had no clue. Like they had, Barkley at halftime said it. This is one of the best defensive performances I've ever seen, and he's not wrong. But I mean, that's the thing about this, and the difference is. So, I would challenge you to say this. Now the '90s was different because the style of basketball allowed was different. But since 2000, have we ever had a team that plays just clamps lockdown defense like this with the ability with a star scorer and a guy like Towns who's a freak? Because he starts to hit those threes, and then Nas hits some threes, and then it's like, what the hell? Like that's the thing. The difference to me is the Wolves can kill you offensively, but where they really want to rip your spirit out and your heart out is defensively, and they do. And so now you're sort of screwed.
That one possession, I think it was like in the second quarter, where Jamal Murray has a spaz attack, getting trapped by Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jaden McDaniels. Yeah. And those guys weren't fouling him. They were just up in his personal space, and Jamal Murray was panicking and starts to flail and fall down and kind of throws the ball over. That's one of the best defensive possessions you'll ever see in an NBA game.
And then he got mad, and it was literally like watching a man drown in quicksand.
Yeah. Dude, he was 3 for 18 tonight, Jamal Murray. 8 points, a -16. He did grab 13 rebounds as he was flailing around. But I don't think it's calf related. Now, is he less than 100%? Probably, but I don't know that what you're seeing is like 90% calf related. I think it's probably like 10 to 15 to 20% calf related, and then the rest of it's just dudes who are bigger, longer, and more athletic than him are smothering him, and he's having a really hard time getting around corners and getting his shot off.
And the TNT guys were trying to say, well, the Denver bench is playing hard. The starters have to take a page from that. It's like, that's when you're sunk. Like the bench for 2 consecutive games that the Nuggets really don't want to play a ton has played pretty well because they're spunky and spark, but you got no chance then.
Yeah. And also, like, okay, you're down by 32 points. Of course, like, the Wolves are going to let their foot off the gas a little in the benches. I mean, your season's on the line. Nothing that happened in that second half, I think, is transferable in terms of, like, momentum.
And how about Joker, dude? I mean, Rudy wasn't there tonight, and Joker, to me, just looks like everyone that the Nuggets need at this point. They look like they're just zero answers.
Yeah. And again, it's like, at some point, are they going to punch back? They just lost 2 home games 1 and 2. I think you can definitively say the Wolves are absolutely the best team. The version of every team you're seeing in the playoffs right now. The Wolves are playing the best of any team in the playoffs. The Nuggets have to have a counterpunch of some kind. But even if they counterpunch, the Wolves have 2 home games coming up, another home game in the bag in Game 6 if they need it, and Denver has to win 4 still in this series, having spotted the Timberwolves 2 games in Denver. So, like, I'm not going to say it's over and this and that because this is the Timberwolves, this is uncharted territory, but it has to be a really overwhelming feeling if you're Denver.
God, yeah. You're coming here?
Yeah.
This has to be basically how the Suns felt, but it's worse because you're not going home.
Yeah.
And
at least the Suns could say, oh, we're going back home for Game 3.
At the end of the day, the Nuggets got their ring, which is awesome. They had a great year. At some point in time, you got to wonder if they're all like, yeah, let's rally this thing, or if they're like, let's try and win a game.
Do they have the eye of the tiger? It's like Rocky 3,
they have
right?
The eye of the golf course right now, dude. The Wolves want, to me, is the most impressive thing. And it's not a few guys. It's not like just Ant. It is everybody.
Yeah.
They come at you in waves.
Just kind of speechless watching that game, man.
Imagine this. Jaden McDaniels leaves, and it should be like, oh, good, he's gone. Nah comes in. Like, what do you do?
I know.
Like what's the response to that? It's what Joker said about cloning him. It's literally like McDaniels and Na are clones of each other.
Yeah, and Anthony Edwards, like it's crazy. Like it's hard to compute and comprehend what we're watching here, but we might be watching a championship run. Don't want to get too ahead because they're not even at the halfway point of the playoffs, but this is the best the Timberwolves have ever played in their entire franchise history. Yes. We're going to make this event line here in just a second. Nice. We do have a couple new threads available in the Score North shop. scorenorth.com/shop for your Wolves culture threads, for your break every record threads, t-shirts, hoodies, crew necks. scorenorth.com/shop as we continue to ride this Magic Wolves carpet ride. Let's start with Colin. What's going on, Colin? You're on a live Flagrant House here on the Score North YouTube channel.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Perfect. Yeah, man. We got you.
Oh, how about that, huh?
Dude.
I am still honestly speechless, a little bit shocked, but in a good way. As discussed at the beginning and throughout this episode, the depth of this team is just unbelievable. With playing without Rudy Gobert and just throwing in Naz or Nikhil at any time, like it almost looks better without Rudy Gobert, even though it isn't.
It's definitely not like, I know that that's a temptation because they did this without Rudy Gobert, but Rudy Gobert is such a huge part of what they will be doing going forward. But yeah, it's amazing that they can just do this missing one of their best players. And dude, when they played the Nuggets 6 weeks ago at home, they were missing Gobert, Cat, and Naz Reid, and they lost by 3 points, like at the buzzer, basically.
I know. That is just crazy. And as someone who's currently living in Loveland, Colorado right now, so about an hour away from Denver.
Wow.
I cannot tell you how many of my friends have just told me that this team is done. You guys do not have what we have. And I told them just wait until our maximum security defense just comes out and completely shut it down.
Hold on a second, I'll get mine.
And
here it is. Here it is. Let's get them all out.
Oh, we all got it. Got it.
Beautiful. Let's do this. Yeah.
Hey, two more games in this series.
2 more games. But after game 1, here's a fun little story. After we beat Denver, I decided to go to the local Dairy Queen for some victory ice cream.
Nice.
And not even joking you, the employee who was taking my order, the first words that he says when he sees my Timberwolves gear, "I don't want to take your order."
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. And he was joking, but
he won't be joking now. He won't be joking tomorrow when you go back in there and say, "Let's do that ice cream again, baby."
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Love it.
Anyways, I'll leave it up to some more people to talk with you guys. Thank you for having me on, and go Wolves.
Awesome, man. Colin, thanks for jumping in here. Little Flagrant House Wolves vent line. Let's go to Marcus next on Flagrant House. What up, Marcus?
Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening to you, sir.
I remember crying in the couch when Gary Anderson missed the field goal for the Vikings. I remember watching the Timberwolves 03-04 when Brad Miller got ejected. That was the only moment to celebrate in the playoffs. I remember leaving the pregnancy class at Maple Grove Hospital for my wife, who was learning how to give birth, to watch Blair Walsh miss a field goal. And have you ever seen this level of dominance from a Minnesota sports team? That's my question. This is incredible.
Yeah. No, Marcus, dude, thank you for jumping in here.
Not in Marcus's lifetime in this setting. Like we've seen, Vikings teams that were dominant at times, at various times, sporadically in the regular season in 98 and 2009. But playoff wise, no, it's very hard. Like we joke that it's hard to comprehend, but it's not a joke. It's hard to comprehend.
Yeah, it was. I was just like sitting there smiling at my TV the entire first half, like just laughing to myself, wondering what the Nuggets are going to make a run, right? Like the Wolves took an 18-4 lead in the first quarter in game 1. Nuggets took the lead before the end of the quarter. It's basketball. Teams make runs, and like they just didn't.
How do you make a run when you can't breathe? Like that's the thing. Like they don't want to play. The Wolves don't want to play a pretty game where it's like run for the Wolves, right? They don't let you make a run. They don't let you do anything.
They play.
It's glorious.
You know how most NBA teams at the end of quarters, certainly at the end of a game, will put like their best defensive effort out and they'll play clamps as much as they can. The Wolves play final possession of the game defense on every single possession in every single game so far in these playoffs.
You know, the first time I think we even saw a twinkle of this, I think it was it last season? You talked about it a lot at the time. Last season, there was a game in Dallas, and it was like Kyrie had the ball, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and it was Luka too, yeah.
And Luka, and it was McDaniels and who else?
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, and Ant.
They didn't
and
get
it
a
was
shot.
Like, oh my God. Like these two guys, I don't care when this game is, they can't move.
Yeah.
And like now it's like every possession is like that. Glorious to watch.
It's wild, man. Like it's literally 48 minutes of end of game clamps defense. Let's go to Kevin here. Kevin, what's up, man?
Hey, you guys. What a great game. Just start to finish. We came out playing so well. So great to see Karl get some scoring early. He played really well, shot very efficiently. And their star was probably more focused on his horses than the game. Probably ready, not really rallying his team when adversity hits. So they haven't really faced a lot of adversity. And I think they kind of fell apart. And I'm very excited to see him back in Minnesota. I also want to give major kudos to Mike and Nori. I thought just being thrust into this situation and the challenges that he's made, the timeouts, so effective. Just so glad with this outcome and can't wait for game 3.
Amen, awesome. Dude. Yes. Yeah, Kevin, thanks for jumping on. They got a good system there. Mike and Nori just kind of hanging out on the sidelines, and Chris Finch just pounding on the scores table. It's
great too because he never looks happy. Finchy, he's probably in pain in Finchy's defense, but he never looks like he's pleased. They could be up by, or they were up by like 30, and they showed Finch, and he's still, like you said, pounding on the scores table and not happy. But their entire system, from the coaching, GM or president of basketball operations and Tim Connolly on down, has been rock solid. Like that's the thing is, Ant might be the star player, but he's right. Cat got off to a great start. And Cat didn't get flustered at all. Like that's the thing. And of course I get tweets about how I've ripped Cat previously before.
You've been very hard on Cat.
I've been very hard on Cat.
Never wavered in my support for
But in these playoffs, that dude has been effective when necessary. For the most part, he's kept his mouth shut. Like if you were to draw, just from a personality standpoint, if you were to draw, how do you want Karl to basically go about playing and absorbing the game? This is the textbook for it.
This is the first time in his career that he has scored 20 or more points in 3 consecutive playoff games. He has been magnificent largely in all 6 of these playoff games. He has run into foul trouble here and there. Tonight, there was a couple moments where it looked like foul trouble was on the horizon. You had a couple stray voltage plays there, but he would quickly rein it back in, hit a big 3.
Yep.
He's been grabbing huge rebounds. He's been playing. Think about the defensive assignments that he has drawn in these 6 games. Yeah. He's mostly been guarding Jokic and Durant. And so, like, of course, those guys are going to get theirs to some extent, but they really haven't gone off like they have at times throughout the regular season and other games in their playoff careers. And it's a large part to Cat playing good defense. And then, like knocking down those threes tonight. Major credit to Karl in these 6 playoff games. They need him to be, he's essentially like, he's not a role player. He's more than a role player, but he's like a Cadillac Escalade of role players, like no one's asking you to save the game or carry the franchise or be the best offensive player or defensive player. But sometimes he winds up being the best offensive player and at times a really, really high-end defensive player. If he can, like Anthony Edwards said, man, if he can stay out of foul trouble and give you the 35, 36 minutes.
Yep. And through 2 games, Naz has been spectacular.
Yep. 4 more threes made tonight, 14 points, 5 rebounds, a +9 off the bench. By the way, Anthony Edwards, a very quiet 27 points in this game. Just a really easy 27 points. He dished out 7 assists. He got hands in passing lanes all night long. He got himself to the free throw line.
Exactly.
Just kind of a ho-hum 27-7 game for Anthony Edwards, dragging his playoff scoring average down, unfortunately.
No, he's not that good.
Let's go to, let's see here. Conrad is next. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Love that.
Let's
old
start
school.
it.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Let's all do it. There you go.
Yeah.
Got to twirl it around.
Oh, yeah.
Got to wave that towel.
Man.
As a Wolves fan living in Colorado for the last 9 years, this is great. Hearing MVP chants for Ant in the Ball Arena as Nuggets fans are filtering to the exits, just solid. A lot of my Nuggets fans want to blame the refs tonight, but this is what great defense looks like, and we're not the Lakers. So.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Like, I'm glad you brought that up, Conrad. Thanks for coming on, waving the flag with us. The Lakers were definitely not like a pushover 7 seed, but the fact that the Lakers led for 70 or 75% of the minutes in that series against Denver, and Denver needed some big time comebacks, double-digit comebacks in the second half. A couple of buzzer beaters to beat the Lakers. Like Denver's not playing at the same level they were last year. They're a little thinner. They just don't look quite as hungry maybe as they did in some ways. I mean, the fact that the Wolves have come in and just punked them physically, energy, physicality, everything. It just looks like, you can kind of tell when a UFC fighter or a boxer steps into a ring or an octagon and they've already won a championship and there's this psychopath on the other side of the ring or the octagon that's frothing at the mouth looking to take your spot. And you're like, yeah, you know what? I'd rather not have my elbow dislocated tonight. So I think I'll just.
Well, and you think about this. Think about the Nuggets. Like think about what it takes to win a championship. Like if the Wolves do, knock on wood, get to that point, the offseason's incredibly short. Like you come back and you're, playing a full schedule. That's hard, man. That's hard. But what makes this Wolves team so fun is they're so damn hungry.
Yeah.
And they just keep delivering right crosses.
Yeah, it's God. Part of my like Wolves trauma, Wolves PTSD is, when the Nuggets cut a 32-point lead to 22 and you go into the fourth quarter, like I don't know if everyone was like this or if it was just me, but I'm looking at that thinking, oh man, well, if they come out of the gate and hit a couple threes and then the starters come back in, could this thing go sideways? They did. The Wolves blew 2 years ago to Memphis in game 3. They blew a 26-point second half lead.
I think the difference back then, that was a far more mentally weak team.
Agreed. 100%.
This team is they are prepared for the fight. And I don't think I've ever felt this way about a Wolves team since Garnett.
Yeah, he would love to play on this team. You can see him tweeting up a storm during these games. I mean, this team embodies everything. It's the first team since he left that fully embodies the spirit that he instilled in those teams for all those years.
Get him in the building Friday. Get him in that building.
God.
KG, we need you in this building.
Come on, Kevin. Screw Len Tiller, dude. Just go sit between A-Rod and Mark Lowry. Go sit literally anywhere. just screw Glenn Taylor.
A show of dissatisfaction for Glenn. Those three guys, okay? But I mean, that building, I'm telling you, that building with or without KG is going to be incredible. But my God, if he showed up, and like this team thrives off that stuff, you can tell everything's fuel.
Let's go to one more event liner here. I think our guy Jake has a little surprise. Let's go full screen on Jake here. Welcome to Ventline, Jake.
What we got there?
How we doing, boys? How we doing?
What's going on?
Just a little sweeping
just
up
doing
there.
a little sweeping, sweeping on my room a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Let's hear it. There we go.
Yeah, keep sweeping.
Thank you very much. So yeah, just doing a little sweeping. Cleaning up the mess from what the Suns left. Just a little messy 4-0 sweep there. Oh, what is this?
Oh, you look like you missed a spot down there.
What you got?
I did. I found some. Oh, does that say Denver? Oh, there we go.
Oh,
is that a Denver?
Oh yeah.
Is it happening, boys? Oh my goodness.
Springtime is always a good time to sweep.
Oh,
it really is. Just a little
great
spring
time.
cleaning of the Western Conference here is what's happening.
Absolutely. I mean, it's nothing better than having the best player in basketball on your own team. I mean, I've never felt that way before, but MJ is on our team.
Dude,
Amazing.
did you guys see Ant knock down the three and do the Jordan shrug backpedaling down?
I did. I did. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna be honest, I did not see the first half. I was at work. But I kept getting the updates and I saw, we're up by 6 with we're up by 6. Oh, we're up by 8. Oh, we're up by 12. Up by 22. Halftime up by 26. They scored 35 in the
highly
first
recommend
half.
Go find the first half, dim the lights, put on some smooth jazz, light some candles, and bust out your broom.
Glass of red. Oh yeah, that broom's got some work. So it's got. I see some Durant hair there. I think I see some Booker remnants there.
There's some nasty stuff on here, but
little Aaron Gordon.
Probably have some more work to do the rest of the playoffs. I mean, I don't know who's gonna. OKC, Boston. Come on, they have a good team.
They don't want this smoke.
I don't think they have any dogs on that team.
No, they don't want this smoke. No.
Gentlemen, that's all I have.
Payback. Boston payback.
JJ McCarthy's the truth. That's all we need to know. We're good.
It's all changed.
Love
Have
it,
a good
Jake.
night, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Yeah. Great work. Love it.
Man. Well, that was just one of them. That's like 2.5 hours of some of the most fun I've ever had watching Minnesota sports tonight. Just a little bit of nervousness there, like early fourth. A little bit of, oh my God, are they going to go on a barrage here and overwhelm the Wolves, get them in foul trouble? But it went away quickly. And any other just final thoughts from you here?
Yeah, what impresses me the most, and I've repeated this a bunch of times when we talked about the Wolves, but it probably is worth repeating again. The nice thing about this, as you watch it, and I'm not saying that they're going to win games the rest of the series or the rest of the playoffs, certainly, by this big a margin, but the nice thing about this is it all is sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, like the foundation of, because, I feel like this is like the third time I've said this after one of these 6 playoff wins, but going back to the Suns series, it's not like the Suns and the Nuggets can go back to their locker room and say, well, you know what, boys?
Right.
That team just went 19 of 29 from 3-point range against us, and that's not going to happen again. Like offensively, the Wolves made 13 of 33 3-pointers, which is right in line with their season average. They shot 50% from the field, which is nice, but it's certainly not electric. The Wolves even turned the ball over 13 times and I believe lost the rebounding battle by a wide margin. Yeah, the Nuggets out-rebounded the Wolves by 8 rebounds in this game. The Nuggets wound up grabbing 18 offensive rebounds tonight.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, I mean, God, like you said, it's not an unrepeatable thing that has happened in these first 2 games. You're just witnessing the best defensive team in the NBA play defense together like their season depends on it. And they will probably keep doing that in game 3, game 4, if they get to the next round, and if they get to the next round.
And what like the TNT guys keep talking about too in game, the cohesion of that is what's so incredible. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not one guy. It's a mentality.
It's the rotations.
I say it's a pack mentality.
Yeah.
Because the mentality is when they are like a bunch of bees. Like, they just swarm to whoever has the ball. And I think part of Phoenix's problem and now the Nuggets' problem is this. They almost start the games flustered. I felt the Nuggets started tonight's game flustered, and the turnovers, 11-2 in the first half, were a big part of that. But they are like literally freaking out about what the Wolves are going to do defensively. And so they sort of abandon their plan and just start to freelance. And I don't know if you can I don't know how much of that can be reined in.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely it's still one of the best teams in the world that's the defending champion with one of the smartest, savviest, best players that we've seen in 2 generations, Nikola Jokic. So they're going to give you something. Like, they're going to give you different looks. They're going to take I would be shocked if they didn't fight back at some point here in the next couple games. But to your point, the Wolves have so many different cards they can play. Like, even with Jokic, there were points in that game, in both games 1 and game 2, where they decided not to double him and stay home on some of the shooters. And listen, if you want to bang your shoulder into Karl-Anthony Towns and get to the rim and get a 2-point shot that's sort of tough, like, we can kind of live with that. We'd rather not give up the 3-pointer that Michael Porter Jr. can line up wide open in the corner. But then there's other times where they do double him, like early. He'll get an early post up. They'll double him and force him to pass. And against almost any other team, when you double Jokic, it's a death sentence because someone's going to get a wide open 3. But this team rotates so fast.
Yes,
they can contest.
Yeah,
it's like you wind up. It winds up being Jokic pass out of the double into the corner, and then like boom, boom, 2 more passes, and against almost anyone else, that third guy gets a wide open 3, but not against this team. Mm-hmm. So, just incredible stuff tonight. 106-80. Timberwolves take a 2-0 lead in the Western Conference Semifinals, and it's going to be electric at Target Center for Game 3 on Friday night. Cannot wait. It's going to be one of the hottest Minnesota sports tickets in 30-plus years. The secondary market is out of control even before this game started. Going to be curious to see what the get-in price is on Friday, but find a way to get into that building, man. Find a way to get in if you're a Wolves fan.
Yeah, including you, KG. My sports dad advice to close, very simple. Don't try to process this, just enjoy it. Don't allow it to, like, you don't have the reference points for a lot of sports fans to process it. Don't worry about that part. It can be processed at some point, but just enjoy this. You are right now the dominant team.
Yeah, it is, to your point, like, it is beyond the parameters of what my Wolves brain can process.
Yes.
So I'm just going to give in. And
well, you're used to, I mean, the Wolves being terrible, yes, but I mean, you're used to the early 2000s Twins, which had some really nice competitive teams and then didn't win playoff games. Yeah. Like, you're not just getting over the hump. You are the team that is the hump now.
Wow. That's philosophical. I like
You're
that.
the Yankees right now.
It's a weird paradigm, but yeah, they are the best team in the playoffs right now. Anthony Edwards is the guy right now. Just first round and a half, the way it's lined up so far. And again, if you want to check out the Score North shop, we got some fun new Flagrant Howls related swag. Got our Wolves culture swag. Got our break every record swag. You can find all of it and more at scorenorth.com/shop. There's a QR code on the YouTube channel here. You guys helped us get to 30,000 YouTube subscribers on the Score North channel, so thank you.
Nice.
Tonight, we crossed over 30.
Bravo.
So, all right. Tomorrow, another episode. It'll be me, Kyle Tighe, and Michael Grady. The legendary Michael Grady.
Sports Dad bowing out for that one. That's awesome.
You're welcome to jump in.
No. You got more than enough basketball brain power there. Grady's fantastic as well.
And he's been in Denver for the series here too, so we'll get his thoughts on it. And we'll probably just pretty much tee him up and get out of the way because Grady is.
Well, and he's not going to be overwhelmed because he's in year 2, right?
Year 2, yeah. Yeah.
So like he's not used to the baggage. So like he'll have a fresh perspective. Saying. Like he's not going to be like, I can't process this. He's going to have a very clear view because he has seen mostly a really good team.
Yeah. He's a Pacers fan growing up too, so he saw some legendary battles.
Those Knicks series. That Knicks Pacers series is going to be knockdown drag out too.
Well, game 1 was crazy tonight. It looked like the Pacers had it, and the Knicks with Jalen Brunson just keep. I mean, it wouldn't bother me if we got a Knicks Wolves finals, but we are still several weeks away from any sort of finals projection. But yeah, that would be a fun one. Get Tibbs, Jalen Brunson. So, all right, we got to wrap this thing.
All right.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us late into the night here on this live Flagrant Howls Score North YouTube channel. Wolves take a 2-0 series lead on the defending champion.
There it is.
Denver Nuggets.
There it is.
He's the sports dad, Judd Zulgad. I'm Phil Mackey, and this is a Timberwolves lifestyle podcast.